The Day That Changed My Life by Emily Risser. My life was definitely not normal. How so, you may ask? Well, when I was born, I said, "Howdy do, folks," to the nurses. When I turned 1, I accidentally ate a poisonous mushroom, and all I did was say, "Could have used a little Tabasco sauce." When I was 2, my family and I went to a rodeo. My favorite part was a big bull that nobody could ride for more than 20 seconds. Imagine my parents brought me snuck into the tent and fed him my relish and mustard banana. On my 5th birthday, I got into my head of a stable. Ha-chink! The only thing that came out of that, besides various psychiatrists and therapies, was the staple that got my mom's nose. But that problem was solved when she decided to get a nose. She currently has 52 nose rings, earrings, eyebrow rings, and belly button rings, all of which she can wear at the same time. When I was 7, my dad and I went to Africa. Dad contracted a disease called horribilis jokings. I believe the English translation would be horrible jokes, which is a pretty accurate description. Dad kept squirting out things like Cheerios, donut seeds, blood vessels, hospital ship, and mistake. Mr. Takes Twice. He still hasn't come out of it. Anyway, we can pretty much agree I was not your average person. But that doesn't explain my predicament on Friday afternoon. What happened? I'll tell you. It goes like this. 3 days before, I had been moving around in the dumpsters behind my school. What was I doing there? It involved a bet, 1 gym sticker, and a tomato. I was looking for my science notebook, which contained vital information about the molecular mass weight of NaCl and its ionic properties when added to water. In English, my notebook had some notes about table salt. When I found out last week's lunch thrown on it, and last week's lunch had been last year's enchiladas. At least that's what it had tasted like. There was no way I was carrying my notebook home with it smelling like that, so I wiped it off with the only thing available, which was my designer jacket. Truth be told, I hated that jacket. It had butterflies on it, and butter seriously, and I hated butterflies. When I got home, my mother threw a fit, and I know you're thinking, well, it was a designer jacket, but actually she was down my sister. My sister had used ketchup to pretend she was hurt, but my mom hadn't noticed until she had got ketchup all over the couch. That night, before bed, I heard someone say, "Knock, knock," at my door. "Who's there?" I asked. "Canoe," came the reply. I groaned. It had to be my sister Dahlia, who was nicknamed Green, which stuck for her because our last name was On. After a second, I inquired, "Knew who?" knowing that's what she expected to hear. "Can you help me with my homework?" Ouch, I hadn't seen that one coming. But I said yes. Halfway through helping her read about how the Greeks defeat the Trojans in the Trojan War, an Easter bunny puts it by my hand, whispered to me, "That was the challenge of the Greeks, to figure out how to get past the gate. Your challenge is." And the pencil told me what I had to do to save the world, ending with, you must do as the Greeks did, and use creativity. Beware the erasers." Now you're probably thinking, wow, time for an episode to go to bed. I mean, talking pencils, get real. Actually, that was my first or second thought. It was my third. My first thought was, man, this pencil's interrupting me. The nerve. My second thought was, that's insane. I looked at my sister and realized she had heard it too. It had to be real. The next day, I gathered my tools, Swiss Army knife, which included a spoon, 5 hardback books, 2 markers, 7 flashlights, a roll of duct tape, compass, 15 cans of spray paint, a chocolate bar, Phillips and flathead screwdrivers, 1 hammer, a 2x4, and a car jack. Exhausted from the day's work, I went over the instructions. I was prepared. But what was the last thing it had said? Beware the erasers? I felt uneasy and hung on everything. All I thought was, fell asleep. I got up at 4:30 a.m., which was a miracle considering I had fallen asleep last night at half past exhausted. I moaned and tried to fall asleep until I remembered what I was supposed to do. I shot out of bed so fast, my blanket was in my lap and fell on my bed before I got out of bed. Grabbing my Hello Kitty bag of supplies, I ran out the door. I grabbed my helmet and jumped onto my bike. I raced to the post office, still in pajamas, and set up my stuff. The first thing to do was to flash things. Using the duct tape, I circled them out at north, south, east, west, northeast, northwest, and southwest. Next, I used a Phillips screwdriver, the flathead screwdriver, and the hammer to open a hatch in the westernmost corner of the office. Taking with me my Swiss Army knife, the markers, 5 hardback books, 5 cans of spray paint, ruby red and indigo, perfect turquoise, hot pink, and evil black. I lowered myself through the hole and dropped to the floor below. I began to carry spray-painted mail, using only my feet and the squealing on the floor. I used the markers to mark where the mail needed to go. I then sat down and read the 5 hardback books. I had reached a critical stage when I had discovered. Using spray paint, I tried to camouflage it. Kids, do not try this at home, or for that matter, don't try it anywhere. But no such luck. Erasers bounded into the room as I attempted to ward them off with perfect turquoise. They overwhelmed. They offered me a deal. Join them, or eat cabbage. Unfortunately, it was quite hard to take the pretty colored, lounge-looking erasers seriously. For at this time, several of them were a pretty shade of turquoise. I started laughing. But when cabbages were being forced down my throat, I relented. I agreed to join them. They gave me different instructions on the pencil. I jumped back up into the roof and used the rest of my circle. Cheese whiz yellow, rhododendron brown, sky blue, grassy green, parchment white, rain gray, violent violet, outrageous orange, purple pinks, and sparkling silver to paint graffiti all over the post office. I then made the top mark. It was a king-size cartridge, quite good. Some of the racers had odd sense of humor. For instance, one said, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" To prove it wasn't. Chicken, that is. Then I placed a 2x4 on the car jack. I pumped up the car jack and attempted to leap and drop. I fell off. I tried again and succeeded. I signaled to the racers to turn on the flashlights. However, this was what I was waiting for. The moment I was told of by the pencil. I proclaimed myself king, queen that is, of the world, second only to my mother. The racers ran away in terror. I had done my duty. Next, I returned home and found the pencil. Well done, young Padawan. Now for the next